Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the live coverage of the 2024 solar eclipse. My name is Joseph Pisani. As you can see, we are looking here at the sun. We're expecting our first touch of the moon to be starting here in just about 2 minutes. We'll see the first shadow of the moon on the sun. It'll be appearing in the lower right-hand side of the sun here, expected around 1:42. We're expecting our 82% coverage or maximum coverage here in Atlanta, Georgia at about 3:04 p.m. this afternoon. We are so glad to have you with us. If you are new to the channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button to get notified when we go live here on YouTube. Also, feel free to drop a comment in the chat. Let us know where you're watching from. And it okay. Okay, sounds good. I'll keep an eye out for it. Thanks, man. Will do. Thanks, man. All right, bye now. All right, folks. So that was our storm chaser, Nick Carter. He is actually up in Evansville, not Evansville, sorry, Indianapolis, Indiana. And he will be doing some coverage for us as well this afternoon. So we'll definitely be jumping over to his live stream up in Indiana as time allows. Once things kind of get set, he's getting finished set up there right now. So. All right, folks, and as you can see here on the live stream, the moon is just now starting to come into that southeast or bottom right portion of the sun. You can see there on the stream. So we are expecting our peak obscuration to be here around 3:04 p.m., but we are now starting to see the moon starting to take that sliver out of the bottom right corner there of the sun. Absolutely amazing picture here. And let me show you something real quick here. So this is the satellite imagery. And you can see here, if you look closely, you can see the shadow starting here across portions of Mexico. So totality should be coming here across Texas. We're expecting, let's see here, NASA. I believe we're looking at, trying to remember the exact time here off the top of my head. 1:34 p.m. there in San Antonio. So just a little under an hour away from totality expected there in San Antonio. We're seeing again the shadow here of the sun's shadow, and it's going to be racing pretty quickly off to the northeast. Let me readjust the camera. That's the one thing, you got to keep moving the camera. And we'll have to do that multiple times throughout this afternoon as obviously the sun and the moon are in orbit. But we can see now more of the sun sliver, more of the moon starting to appear in front of the sun. So as we take a look back here at our live satellite imagery here, we can see here across Georgia, we have basically perfectly clear skies, very little cloud cover. Across portions of southern Texas, a lot more clouds, some scattered clouds as you get here into northeastern Texas and northwestern Louisiana, southern Arkansas. So depending on exactly where folks are at there, they may be able to see the eclipse. But really from central Arkansas and northeastward through southern Missouri, southern Illinois, Indiana, even into much of Ohio now, a lot of these clouds look like they are clearing out ahead of the eclipse just in time. So much of Ohio, even up toward Cleveland, things are looking pretty good. Still a lot of cloud cover, though, across portions of Pennsylvania and western New York. We'll have to see if this is able to kind of clear out here in the next hour or so before totality occurs. And obviously looking really good here across upstate New York and all the way into New England. More of the sun being covered here. And again, here in Stone Mountain, the Atlanta, Georgia area, we're expecting about 88% coverage as our maximum right around 3:04 p.m. Eastern Time, 2:04 p.m. Central Time. Good afternoon. For those of you just joining us, we are broadcasting here live from Atlanta, Georgia, the 2024 solar eclipse. Peak coverage expected this afternoon around 3:04 p.m. Right now, as you can see here on the live stream, we are starting to see the moon begin to move in front of the sun there, coming in across the bottom right side there of the sun, the bottom right corner. More and more being taken out. We're not going to have totality here in Atlanta, but a lot of it will be covered. We do have our storm chaser, Nick Carter. He is going to be live later this afternoon up in Indianapolis, Indiana. So we'll definitely be tuning into him here throughout the afternoon. Also, we are keeping an eye on the severe weather that is forecast to take place this afternoon across Texas. Could see some big storms out there, so we'll have to keep an eye on that and how that impacts eclipse viewing across those areas. But here in Georgia, absolutely clear, beautiful blue skies this afternoon. Couldn't ask for better eclipse viewing weather. And again, here we could see this is exactly what I'm talking about as far as our area of interest. We have these high clouds here, and you can actually start now seeing the shadow actually coming in here on the left side of the screen here. A lot of cloud cover across Mississippi, Louisiana, but here in Georgia, pretty much not a cloud in the sky right now. We had some high clouds earlier, but those have since diminished, and we're looking at it staying pretty cloud free all afternoon, so shouldn't have any issues this afternoon. Be sure to give this video a like if you're enjoying it. Also, feel free to leave us a comment. We'd love to know where you're watching from. Glad to have you here on the Extreme Weather Videos live stream. Share this video with a friend, and be sure to hit that subscribe button so you can get notified when we do future broadcasts covering everything from solar eclipses like today to severe weather, tornadoes, hurricanes. We kind of cover it all across the country. So we're glad to be your extreme weather source for weather forecasting and live coverage. Nice thing is where we're at, we did not have to compete with any traffic to be able to get the view that we have today. So that is definitely a blessing. I know up in some places the traffic has been pretty crazy in some areas, even up in Indiana where our storm chaser's at. He called me earlier on the phone and had mentioned that traffic in and around the Indianapolis area was just an absolute nightmare. He's out on the east side of Indianapolis this afternoon. He'll be doing live coverage as well over on our Facebook page. If you're not on Facebook with us, be sure to head over there as well. Click that like button and follow our page. We'll be doing other live coverage over there this afternoon as well from near Palestine, Indiana, just on the east side of Indianapolis. And we'll bring that to you here on YouTube as well throughout the afternoon. I'm going. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our continuing live coverage here on Extreme Weather Videos. We are here in Stone Mountain, Georgia this afternoon, covering the 2024 solar eclipse. Absolutely beautiful weather this afternoon. Temperature is sitting right now about 73 degrees, expected to go up to about 77 later this afternoon. Couldn't ask for better eclipse viewing weather here. It is an absolute awesome scene here. We're expecting to have our peak coverage this afternoon right around 3:04. And let's take a look here at our live satellite. We can actually, this is really cool. I'm going to show you guys this. Let me come back here. You can actually see here on the satellite, there is the eclipse coming in now, right now, across the western coast of Mexico. And that's going to be traversing here across Texas in about the next hour. It'll be starting to come here into the United States. So you can see it right there. Let's try it again. And we're sitting right over here, kind of in near Atlanta, Georgia. That's what it looks like up in the top left corner of your screen there. That's what we're looking at live here in Stone Mountain, Georgia. And totality right now taking place basically across the southern tip there of Baja California, as we can see on the GPS, and now coming into Mexico. And you can see the shadow that it casts there on the ground as the moon passes between the earth and the sun. That's what causes this, folks, is the moon passing right in between the earth and the sun at the perfect angle. And then once the moon is directly in front of the sun, it allows you to actually be able to see the outer edges of the corona. And that's only in where there's totality. If you are not in totality, like us here in Atlanta, Georgia, the only safe way to view this afternoon is using solar eclipse glasses. You cannot use sunglasses to view this. You will damage your eyes. So only make sure that if you're looking up in the sky this afternoon, that you are doing so with solar eclipse glasses. Same thing goes for if you're wanting to take pictures or video like we're doing here this afternoon. You need to make sure you have the proper equipment, the solar lens filters for those cameras in order to do that. Let's go back live here. There is what we're looking at here. And again, more and more of the sun starting to be covered now by the moon this afternoon. It is just now 2:11 p.m. Eastern time, 1:11 p.m. Central time. For those of you just joining us, be sure to drop a comment on the YouTube live chat. Let us know where you're watching from. Great to have you guys on here this afternoon. Be sure to hit that like button for us. That really helps the algorithm get this YouTube stream out, as well as subscribing to the channel so you can get notified when we're doing more live streams. Andre asks, thanks for doing this. Will we get a full eclipse here in Loganville, Georgia? And Andre, the answer to that is unfortunately not in Loganville. It'll be about 88% will be the maximum coverage of the sun this afternoon in Loganville. We can actually see the exact coverage of Loganville. Pull this up for you. Hero, man. So this is what we're looking at for Loganville, Georgia this afternoon. So obviously we are seeing the coverage come in. Started at 1:46 p.m. We'll be at about 50% coverage around 2:27 p.m. The max percentage of coverage this afternoon for Loganville will be 3:05 p.m. this afternoon. And then we'll be moving away at 3:42 p.m. And the last little bit will finish at about 4:21 this afternoon. So thanks for the question there, Andre. Just readjusting the camera out there. There we go. Y'all feel free to drop any questions that you have into the chat. We'll be glad to answer them here live on the air this afternoon. As we get readjusted here. Again, looking back here at our live satellite imagery, we can see totality now taking place right here across Mexico. Let's zoom in on this area here a little bit more, get a closer look at it. Really phenomenal. You can see there's just a complete dark shadow there coming across. So we'll start seeing it come here into Texas here within about the next 30-40 minutes as it moves through. They're already starting to get some of that shadow effect there in Texas already. Remember, your live stream's 30 seconds behind. Good afternoon there. Welcome, folks, back to the live stream. We are still here live in Atlanta, Georgia, where we now have probably just about 30% coverage is what we're at right about now. Our max coverage that we're expecting here is 81 to 82%, depending exactly where you're at. Be sure to follow us on Facebook as well. We'll be doing live streaming on there this afternoon. We've got our storm chaser, Nick Carter. He is actually up in Indianapolis, Indiana this afternoon. Believe it or not, the next total solar eclipse here in Georgia won't take place until 2045. So it'll be about another 19 years till we have our next total solar eclipse in Georgia, where we will actually get to experience totality here. This afternoon here where we're at, we'll be experiencing about 82% coverage of the solar eclipse. And as we look here at the satellite imagery again, Texas is actually looking like they're going to possibly be able to see a little bit of totality here as it comes in Texas. Right along the border, probably not so much, but as you get more into central Texas area, it actually might be pretty possible to actually see some good coverage there. Good afternoon, everyone. For those of you just joining us, welcome to the Extreme Weather Videos live coverage of the 2024 total solar eclipse. We're expecting to have our peak coverage here around 3:04, 3:05 this afternoon. We'll be going to Nick Carter here probably shortly for some live coverage from him over on our Facebook page. Amazing view right now. Can really start to see the coverage. Just got a text from Nick. Looks like he's about to go live. So once he's up and going, we will pull up his live stream. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our live coverage. Hope you guys are having a great afternoon where you guys are at. If you're not getting to get out this afternoon and see it, that's why we've got this live stream for. And again, we're not going to get 100% totality here in Stone Mountain, Atlanta, Georgia area, but we will get about 81, 82% where we're at. Our storm chaser, Nick Carter, he is up in Indiana and getting set up to do some live coverage for us up there as well. All right. And let's check out Nick Carter's stream here. As he is over here in Indiana. So yeah, you can see there's a lot of coverage there. You can see the sliver of the sun right here. Not quite totality yet, but definitely inching closer. Definitely inching closer there up in Indiana. So we'll keep an eye in with him as well. Meanwhile, you can see here now totality just now coming into Texas right now, just crossing the border. So totality is officially here, made it into the United States. You can see the dark area right here. That is where totality is occurring, folks. And believe it or not, the unique thing about this eclipse is the path of totality. This is one of the widest totality paths. This is a much wider path for totality than what we had with the 2017 Great American Solar Eclipse. This one here is a much wider path. Hard to see, it's not quite blacked out there on inside, but if you look closely, you can kind of see the sun there. Yeah, you can really see it there now coming across Texas. Look at this right there. So we can see the cloud cover here, but now on the northern side of where that's at, that's probably near just near Kerrsville, Texas. Really starting to get into that totality there, and good shading here across the rest of Texas. This is going to be moving off to the northeast here, coming up just south of Dallas, Fort Worth area, not in the path of totality. But we can definitely start seeing it moving across Texas this afternoon. Amazing seeing it from space. We get a really wide view of it here. You can see it out here. That's just phenomenal. When you look at it on the satellite imagery like that, seeing the shadow of the moon go across the United States here. And out here in Georgia, we're at absolutely starting to get a little bit dimmer. You can even see the lighting kind of slowly diminishing. Let's go back out live. Let us know where you guys are watching from here on YouTube. Be sure to hit that like and subscribe button. Subscribe to our channel. We'll be doing lots of live coverage, not just of the solar eclipse. We're also keeping an eye on severe weather this afternoon across portions of Texas and Oklahoma. There is an enhanced risk for severe weather today, and a tornado watch was actually just issued about 15 minutes ago, which does include much of eastern Texas and western Louisiana. So let's kind of cover this real quick so we can see this is a new tornado watch, which does include these outlined areas in red. This is until 8 o'clock Central Time this evening. Main threat is going to be some damaging winds, so we'll definitely have to keep an eye on that. Can't rule out some tornadoes, moderate threat for tornadoes, low threat for those stronger tornadoes here in this watch area. Readjusting the camera. That's the name of the game this afternoon, folks. Dallas, Texas is now in totality at this time. We can see that here looking at our live satellite feed across the United States, watching the eclipse traverse the country, moving from Texas, going across 13 different states this afternoon. And it is really just a remarkable experience. I remember watching the 2017 solar eclipse up in Dayton, Tennessee with my brother, and that was a phenomenal experience, to say the least. And as you can see here, more and more, we're about probably getting close to about 50% coverage here where we're at. It's really interesting. You can actually, if you look outside, you can actually see the brightness of the sun, the intensity of the sun has diminished greatly from earlier this afternoon as the eclipse continues to traverse our area here in Georgia. Let me come specifically to our area. And you can see that shadow. It's obviously not totality, but it is getting dimmer and dimmer outside as we approach our maximum coverage this afternoon. We're expecting about 82% coverage here in Stone Mountain, Georgia, just on the east side of Atlanta. Again, Dallas now experiencing totality. Going to be coming out of it pretty quickly. So coming up here, Texarkana, y'all are up next. And then getting into the Little Rock, Conway, Arkansas area here shortly after that. So it is happening. Nick readjusting his camera there. He's getting some really good coverage there in Indianapolis. So absolutely amazing views where he's at. temperature difference. It's absolutely amazing right now where we're at. As you step outside, you can completely start to feel a temperature difference. As you know, not all of the sun rays are making it to the Earth's surface where we're at. With now probably about 60% of the sun being covered. Here in Stone Mountain, Georgia. And the sun sure does move pretty fast. All right, folks, so as we can see here, let me adjust this for us. There we go. That's what it looks like from a distance, you know? And if you're zoomed out, I mean, that's what it looks like. But then as we zoom in, you know, that's where we start seeing the difference. Just a little sliver of a crescent left. Absolutely beautiful view this afternoon. I mean, the temperature difference is, it was about 70, it's supposed to be 77 this afternoon, but right now, I mean, I feel like it's, what, maybe about, feels probably closer to about 65 degrees. So that is one interesting thing with these solar eclipses. Even if you're not in totality, you can actually experience quite a temperature difference as that eclipse does take place. Temperature drops, wind shifts take place. Absolutely phenomenal. What do you think it feels like down here?
Definitely cool off.
It's got a up on Facebook.
Yeah, I saw this.
Yeah.
Really.
Not on here. I had pulled this into Eclipse.
Oh yeah, I knew.
I'm not talking about here. Yeah, yeah.
Are you even talking about here?
Yeah, that's where I have this microphone on right now. That's one of my microphones. Yeah. Probably not from here as well, but a lot of things. Yeah, I just removed it. Well, we got 19 people watching right now. Yeah, the temperature feels so good right now. Absolutely phenomenal. Our neighbor's getting their house pressure washed right now. That's what you guys are hearing in the background right now. So I'm gonna go back inside. All right, so we're back inside here. So yeah, the neighbor's actually getting their siding pressure washed right now. I'm like, what timing for that? As we're trying to cover the solar eclipse here. But if you're new to our YouTube channel, we'd love to get to meet you. There we go. Sorry about that. Okay. Okay. Wow, this is just beautiful. Really an amazing view right now. We're also live streaming as well this afternoon on Facebook. Nick Carter is covering Evansville, Indiana. Let's check in and see how things are looking with him this afternoon. He's got a different sliver that we can see here. Just the very far northern sliver where he's at of the sun. Quality. But as we take a look at our satellite imagery again, we can see how quickly that totality is moving through. Right now, centered over Little Rock, Arkansas, and much of Arkansas right now, experiencing totality. Be moving here now into the southeastern portion of Missouri, coming up into western Illinois, and we'll be coming into southern and central Indiana here shortly. We're about to experience our maximum coverage here in Atlanta, Georgia, here in just about 3 minutes at 81% coverage. So there is about our maximum coverage All right, and this is about our maximum coverage that we're going to get right now, 3:04 p.m. And now we will see over the course of about the next hour, we'll see the reemergence of the sun here in Stone Mountain, Georgia. Totality now coming into southeast Missouri and southern Illinois as we continue to track it across the United States this afternoon for you live here on Extreme Weather Videos. We just experienced our maximum coverage here in Atlanta. We're at about 82%, 81, 82%, depending on which side of the town you're on. And that is it right there for you. Now we're going to see the sun move off and more of the sun be exposed. As it takes place. And Nick Carter up in Indianapolis, Indiana, about to be coming into totality. So here's his live stream. We'll keep an eye on it. As he inches closer to totality this afternoon. Just the last little sliver of the sun. Nick's about to come into totality, folks, up in Indiana. Here we go. And there it is. Totality. Wait for it. It's going to go black. You need to take this. Hey Siri, call Nick Carter. There we go. That is totality. They're in. There it is. Wow, absolutely amazing. He's in Indiana. I'm sure he's enjoying that. It is a phenomenal experience. Just lasts for a few minutes. You could just see the white corona around the sun. Obviously, here in the live video, it's a little bit hard to see, so you can only zoom in so far. There's a little bit. Just got to focus. But basically, you got the black dot with a white speck around the sun. And the moment before, you saw it just goes completely black. And so he is experiencing totality up there in Indianapolis, Indiana. And we can look here. Yep. On the satellite. And we can see it here coming in. Yep, now coming into the southwest side of Indiana, Illinois, about to come here into southwestern Ohio. Let's give him some love, shall we? Give that man some love. Great job, Nick. Great job. And you can see here where we're at. More and more of the sun now starting to be exposed as the trek of the northern eclipse continues. moving through Indiana, just moved through Indiana, now coming into Ohio. And we'll see. It's going to be interesting here around Niagara Falls. We can see there's still some clouds, so I don't think they're going to quite get those clouds cleared out of there in Niagara Falls before it's there, because this is probably going to be there here in about the next 5-10 minutes. But Cleveland, Ohio, just some high clouds. Much of Ohio, really, just some high clouds moving through. So might get to see some totality this afternoon there across parts of Ohio. Make sure, folks, that if you are stepping outside right now to look at the eclipse, that you are doing so with Eclipse glasses unless you are in the totality path. If you are not in totality, you need to be viewing this with the safety of wearing Eclipse glasses. And this is what it looks like back out here live in Stone Mountain, Georgia this afternoon. We just passed our peak about 5 minutes ago. And now the sun is going to be moving. We'll see the shadow of the sun, the shadow of the moon moving off to the northeast on the camera, the top right there. And we'll see more and more of that sun coming to light as we go through the next hour. We got about another hour here. Of eclipse coverage here live on Extreme Weather Videos. Thank you to our new subscribers. If you're new to the channel, be sure to go ahead and hit that like button for me. Leave a comment. Let us know where you're watching from. If you're in totality, be sure to share your photos with us. Send them to us. extremewxvideos@gmail.com. You can email those to us. We'd be glad to share those out. And we have a week of severe weather ahead after today, even including today. We're still keeping an eye on things. We did have that tornado watch. We've got we do have a severe thunderstorm warning that did come out in Texas for the threat of hail, quarter-sized hail possible, and damaging winds as well are possible. That is there in Austin, Grimes, Washington, Montgomery, Waller, and Harris County there in southeast Texas. There it is. Moon moving away from the sun. And we'll see more and more of that sun start to peek through as we go through this afternoon over the next hour. And we can even already start to see some of the brightness increasing as I look outside. Really just quite an amazing event. Going to be till 2045 that we'll experience our actual total solar eclipse here in Georgia, where we're at here in Atlanta. But meteorologically speaking, this is just such a fascinating event to get to cover, getting to experience everything from the daylight change to the temperature change to the wind change. I mean, it's night and day difference covering from coming from totality to even 80-90%. It's just night and day difference. And there it is. More and more of the sun coming out. Pretty soon we'll see the full sun again. Quite an experience. Totality now coming across Ohio at this time. Coming into the Columbus area, Dayton, Lima. Going to be coming up toward Cleveland pretty soon. Good afternoon, everyone. Hope you guys have been enjoying this live stream of the 2024 Great American Solar Eclipse. If you're just joining us, we're here live in Stone Mountain, Georgia. We've been covering this afternoon. We have now passed our maximum coverage of 82% here where we were at. The sun is starting to reemerge, and we'll be fully reemerged here this afternoon around 4:11 p.m. So in about another 48 minutes, we will have the full sun again. But we are definitely enjoying it while we're here. Meanwhile, totality is beginning to take place here across much of Ohio, as you can see here looking at the satellite imagery map. It does not, unfortunately, it does not look like those clouds are going to clear out fully across Niagara Falls area. That's actually where I used to live, but beautiful, pretty decent weather. There's some high clouds there in and around the Cleveland right now for totality, so hopefully not obscuring the view too much for our friends up there. Erie, Pennsylvania, things looking pretty good. Still just some high clouds, and far western New York, right along the Pennsylvania New York border, things clearing out. And if you're in Vermont, New Hampshire, upstate New Hampshire, Maine, even upstate New York, a little bit of high clouds, but areas north and east of there, absolutely perfectly clear skies. Should be having a great solar eclipse viewing experience up in those areas here this afternoon. Let's get our wide view here. We could see it start there from, you can see it come across Mexico, Texas, Arkansas, and now it's up in Ohio, coming into western New York and Pennsylvania at this time. Absolutely phenomenal. This is what it looks like here in Atlanta, Georgia. The sun starting to emerge more and more as the moon moves away from the sun. That photo was great. I love how my dad liked it. Can you see that? Absolutely amazing. Thank you, folks, to our new subscribers here on YouTube. If you are new to the channel, be sure to boop that like button for me. Share this with a friend and hit that subscribe button. We'll be continuing to cover this throughout the afternoon as the eclipse continues to roll on. Elizabeth Giddens, Stephanie Wilson, you are welcome. So glad you're able to join us this afternoon. Let's move you guys over here. The biggest trick with this is having to keep the camera, because you have to have it so far zoomed in and having to keep the camera adjusted as the sun and the moon are both continuing to move. And looking at that, you can see it continuing to move across the U.S. Right now, across western New York, totality. Erie, Pennsylvania, Cleveland, Ohio. Those areas are in totality now. Let's come back to region. There we go. There's a closer look at it. You can see it now, yeah, coming right across New York. Coming into about to be in upstate New York here shortly. And then over into Vermont, New Hampshire, and Maine. And then it will move across Nova Scotia and then across the Atlantic Ocean. Be sure to like this video. Leave a comment letting us know what you thought. We'll be doing more live coverage of all types of weather events. This week we have a lot of severe weather we'll be covering. We'll be covering hurricanes this year. Extreme weather videos, folks, it is back. 2024 solar eclipse. Absolutely amazing. I can't wait to see some of my friends' photos. Can't wait to hear stories from our storm chaser, Nick Carter. He was up here just east of Indianapolis. This was his very first total solar eclipse. So I'm really excited to get to hear from him. We'll probably do a podcast with him maybe later this week. We'll do a live stream and have him on, get his take, his reaction to the 2024 solar eclipse, and hear his firsthand account of what it was like. But going back live, we can see again, yep, the more of the sun, that the moon is moving up to the top right of your screen there. And more of that sun coverage is beginning to come out here in Atlanta this afternoon. But a very exciting afternoon here with the solar eclipse. You can even feel the temperature difference now. Temperature is definitely starting to come back up where we're at. We probably had a solid 5, maybe even 7 degree temperature drop where we're at across totality. Sometimes it can drop as much as 15 to 20 degrees when totality occurs. And the winds will pick up. It is really quite an experience. And now totality coming in. Coming in right now across upstate New York, Vermont, New Hampshire, and about to come into Maine here. So this will be concluding the 2024 Great American Eclipse. It's amazing. You think how fast the sun and the moon move in the orbit, how fast the Earth spins. Absolutely fascinating. Check out this view here. Let's just watch it. You can see it go all across the United States there pretty much. Look at this. Actually, I have a glitch there in the satellite feed on that one. Amazing. And you can see where the darkness is there right now. Just an amazing event. Thankfully, for the most part, for most areas, the clouds did work out. Southern Texas, not so great. A little bit of cloud cover there in northeast Texas and southwest Arkansas. Pretty clear, though, across Missouri, Illinois, Indiana, and much of Ohio. Western New York struggled. Central New York, but then upstate New York, and now through New Hampshire, Vermont, Maine. Not a problem at all as we continue to see the Great American Solar Eclipse preparing to exit the United States and move across Canada, and then it'll move back out over the Atlantic Ocean. So definitely quite an event. Really enjoyed covering it with you guys. And there's the live view as more of the sun continues to come out. So here at Extreme Weather Videos, we cover all sorts of weather events. We cover, as you can see, solar eclipses. We cover hurricanes. We cover tornadoes, floods, ice storms, all sorts of different things. We do live coverage here on YouTube. This is going to be our primary way to kind of keep you guys updated as to what's going on. So if you haven't, please go ahead, hit that subscribe button, click the notification bell so you get notified when we go live. Share our channel with a friend that's interested in weather or science. We'll be doing also some educational video segments I'm planning on doing. Kind of just like meteorology 101, different things that, you need to know what the difference between, tornado watch and tornado warning is. Talking about floods and safety tips on how to survive, hurricanes. Even here where we're at in Georgia, we have all sorts of weather. We get the full spectrum here in Atlanta, Georgia. Everything from tornadoes. We even had a tornado just this past week down in Conyers, Georgia. EF2 tornado, 115 mile per hour winds. We get ice storms. We get snow. We even get inland impacts from hurricanes. Even all the way up here, we had some pretty significant impacts from storms like Hurricane Irma and Hurricane Dorian and others. As well. We get drought. We definitely get drought here in Georgia, where we'll go for 30 plus days without seeing any rain and can have extreme or exceptional drought. We get floods. I mean, back in 2009, how many of you guys remember the Great Flood that swept across Atlanta, Georgia? A 1 in 100-year event for many places. In some places, it was a 1 in 500-year event that we experienced. That's really what got me into covering extreme weather, was just getting to experience a lot of these different extreme weather events, and getting to see this total solar eclipse today, definitely ranks up there with different events that we've gotten to cover. So I really appreciate everyone's support and joining us here on YouTube, supporting extreme weather videos. If you're a storm chaser, you know someone that is, and they want to get involved, definitely reach out to us. extremewxvideos@gmail.com. You can shoot us an email. We'll get in touch with you. We really appreciate our storm chasers. Nick Carter, huge shout out to him today, getting up to Indiana to be able to see the solar eclipse. Really looking forward. We'll definitely be posting some photos and different videos from him, I'm sure, later this afternoon once we receive those. But really has been quite a remarkable event this afternoon, getting to cover this here, even in Georgia. And now totality centered across Maine and going to be coming out and soon emerging over the Atlantic Ocean. And another live look here. Solar Eclipse 2024 here in Stone Mountain, Georgia. Sun emerging from the moon. Still got a good chunk of it, probably about 20% coverage right now. Maybe 25%. Where we are at as we wrap up the 2024 solar eclipse. If you're traveling home and you were in totality, good luck. I'm sure some of the traffic getting out of some of those places this afternoon is going to be pretty horrific. Definitely quite a memorable event, though, for sure. Yep, there it is. Really starting to see the sun reemerge from behind the moon. And we can see the last little bit of the moon covering the sun. And coming out. Let us know if you were in the path of totality. You can vote on the poll that was posted. We'd love to kind of get to see how many of you guys were in that path of totality today. There we go. Temperature is definitely on the rise outside. And if we come back to take a look at the eclipse, it is now just exited Maine and about to head out over the Atlantic Ocean. Just updated, yep. So we have all survived the 2024 Great American Solar Eclipse. Thank you so much, everyone, again, for your support. Definitely appreciate you joining us this afternoon on our live stream coverage of the Great American Eclipse. We'll look forward to continuing. We'll probably be doing some more live coverage. We've got severe weather. We'll probably fire up another live stream later to kind of cover the severe weather that we're expecting this afternoon, as well as tomorrow. So we'll fire up another live stream. So we're going to wrap it up here this afternoon with the eclipse as it finishes. But thank you again for all your support. Really appreciate everyone spending their afternoon with us here at Extreme Weather Videos, and we'll catch you guys on the next live stream. Stay safe out there and be sure to experience the extreme with all of us here at Extreme Weather Videos.